Warren Buffett has stepped down from Berkshire Hathaway. I know, the news are a month old, but it takes time to sink in. The man, who's basically the Yoda of investing, is handing over the reins. But does that mean that we stop learning from him? Absolutely not. In fact, now is the perfect time to revisit the timeless lessons he has given us over decades. Because while Buffett might be stepping back, his wisdom is not going anywhere. So today, let's unpack 7 of the most powerful money principles, quotes that might just change the way you think about investing and life. But before we dive in, a quick reminder of who we're talking about. At just age 11, Warren Buffett bought his first stock with around $120 he saved delivering newspapers and selling gum door to door. And by the time he was 20, he had saved up around $10,000, which adjusted for inflation would be worth around $120,000 today. And he didn't stop there. He kept investing, and today his wealth stands at a staggering $150 billion. He didn't just beat the market once or twice, he outperformed it consistently over decades. And despite his immense wealth, he still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958. And here's the cherry on top. He has pledged to give away most of his wealth to make the world a better place. Buffett didn't just build wealth, he built a philosophy. And it is simple, patient, and shockingly effective. So whether you're just starting out or already have 6 figures in the market, these next lessons are for you. Let's bust the biggest myth right out the gate. You need to be rich to invest.
But that I was working with a tiny amount of money. I think if you're working with a small amount of money, with exactly the same background that Charlie and I have, and same ideas, same whatever ability we have, I think you can make very significant sums.
That's right. The greatest of all time started with peanuts. You do not need to drop 10 grand in the current highest flying stock to begin. Buffett's point? Start with what you have. Build the habit. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting over time. Even if you're just putting $50 to an index fund each month, that's more powerful than waiting for the perfect time with more money. Do not wait to be rich to start. Instead, start to get rich. Now, once you've started investing, the next question is where to put your money. And here's where Buffett makes things hilariously simple.
In my view, for most people, the best thing to do is to own the S&P 500 index fund. People will try and sell you other things because there's more money in it for them if they do.
He's not being humble, he's being honest. Picking individual stocks might be hard, even for the pros. Index funds like the ones that follow S&P 500 give you exposure to the biggest companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and you do not need to bet your farm on just one. And the best part is, it's cheap, especially comparing to the actively traded funds that usually don't even beat the market. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember, Buffett's favorite investment for an average person is the index fund. No crypto, no NFTs, just boring, beautiful, reliable diversification. Now, let's talk mindset. Because investing isn't about what happens tomorrow, it's about what happens years from now. Only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold if the market shuts down for 10 years. Imagine buying Dogecoin, then not being able to sell it for a decade. What Buffett is saying, don't buy stuff you are planning to flip. Buy things you believe in long term. Great businesses with strong fundamentals and no hype. Ask yourself, if the stock market would go on vacation for 10 years, would you still be confident in your portfolio? If not, it might be time to rethink your strategy. Of course, to invest long-term, you need to know what you're actually investing in. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. This one's fairly simple. Do not invest into stuff you do not understand. You do not need a finance degree, but you do need curiosity. Read the earnings reports. Know how the company makes money. Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Of course, you do not have to match that, but maybe skip TikTok for 10 minutes and read up on what free cash flow is. Because knowledge It's the best risk management there is. Now, this journey is not just about the numbers, it's about people too. And Buffett has a killer insight on that. It's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you'll drift in that direction. Buffett is basically talking about compounding interest in character. Want to become more disciplined? Hang out with disciplined people. Want to get financially literate? Talk to folks who read 10Ks for fun. And these days, with internet, it's extremely easy to find groups of people who are interested in the same things you are. Your environment shapes your mindset more than you think. So if your group chat is all about meme coins and YOLO trades, it might be time to upgrade your circle. And now, the big one, because if there's one thing markets are great at, it's being unpredictable. Uncertainty actually is the friend of the buyer of long-term values. Buffett isn't scared of volatility, he embraces it. When prices swing wildly, people panic. But Buffett, he sees discounts. Uncertainty creates fear, but it also creates opportunity. When people run for the hills, Buffett calmly opens his wallet. Lesson: do not fear the storm. Learn how to surf the waves. Speaking of storms, what if you're already in a bad investment? Here is Buffett's advice. The most important thing to do when you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging. This quote isn't flashy, but it's brutally wise. Whether it's a stock, a bad habit, or a bad spending pattern, if it's clearly not working, stop making it worse. Too many people throw good money into bad investments and they keep doubling down just to ride it out. And Buffett says you do not have to prove anything. Just stop. Cut losses, learn, adjust. It's not weakness, it's strategy. All in all, Buffett may be stepping down, but his advice, it's still here, it's still relevant, and it is still some of the best financial wisdom you'll ever hear. So if you remember one thing from this video, let it be this: you do not need to be brilliant. You just need to be consistent, curious, and patient. And maybe, just maybe, you'll become the next Oracle of Omaha, or at least the Oracle of your group chat. I hope you learned something from this video. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing and clicking the like button. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.